Habits are hard to break. One of the most difficult habits to break is quitting smoking. Other bad habits include alcohol and drugs, overeating, consuming too much caffeine, and hostility. Why did you start this destructive habit in the first place? Is it a stress reliever? Was it because your family members or friends engaged in this behavior? Take a moment to reflect on how and why you started. What do you find most satisfying about this behavior? Does it calm you down? Does it make you feel better? Have you ever considered the possibility of changing or eliminating this behavior? If you are, is it because you want to? Is it being requested of you by your doctor, family member, or spouse? Consider the type of addiction with this behavior, whether it is physical, psychological, or habitual. Physical addiction means your body is craving it. Psychological means your mind thinks your body is craving it. And habitual is a habit that is an ingrained behavior. And by far, habitual addiction is the most difficult to overcome. Have you ever tried to change this behavior before? If you have, the good news is that most people are not successful the first time. The average smoker tries 7 times before he or she is successful. Where are you in your readiness for change? Have you even thought about it? Probably, or you would not be watching this video. Have you decided to make a change? Have you made a firm commitment? Are you presently in the process of change, or have you already made this change and are trying to maintain it? If you've not yet made the decision to change, write down the pros and cons of the change. You may discover that some reasons you are not aware of. You may decide that you want more information, or decide that now is not the time to make the change. Whatever the reason, make sure you have educated yourself on the health risks. As you are writing down your pros and cons, the balancing act you must deal with is balancing the arguments for making the change versus the arguments for the status quo. You may find that you want to, but you don't want to. You must balance the benefits of the change and the cost of the status quo compared to the cost of the change and the benefits of the status quo. So in the case of smoking, you must weigh improved health and the price against the possibility that you will fail and the satisfaction you get out of smoking. Another important element is how confident you are. The first question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this behavior change? Let's say it's a 6. Now ask yourself, why isn't it a 0? The answer are all the reasons for making the change. Next, ask yourself, why isn't it a 10? Which are all the reasons why you should not make the change. So you say, it's a 6 and not a 0 because I'm aware that smoking increases my risk for heart disease, and I'm worried that I will not be able to be around to see my grandchildren. It is a 6 instead of a 10 because I do know people who smoke and are healthy. Next, rate yourself on how likely you are to be successful if you decide to make the change. Let's say you give yourself a 7 on this one. So ask yourself, why isn't it a 0? Well, I know that if I really put my mind to something, I'm usually very successful. But the reason it's not a 10 is because I know it's going to be really hard.